As most of you know, back in 1930, George Gershwin wrote I Got Rhythm based on the major 1-6-2-5 progression, which is the basis for hundreds of standards, as well as the initial portion of what jazz musicians refer to as rhythm changes. Today, this progression and its variations is widely regarded as essential for any aspiring jazz musician wanting to achieve proficiency in both comping and improvising. Having said that, did you know that the 1-6-2-5 also exists in minor and is prominently featured in a great number of minor key standards? In this lesson, I am going to get you started on a learning journey using 18 standards that start off with this progression. I'm also going to show you how you can recycle some Charlie Parker rhythm changes phrases to use over these minor standards. Before I play the initial segments of the 18 minor standards I've selected, let's quickly compare the major and minor 1-6-2-5 progressions side by side so that we can understand the differences. Here we have both progressions in the keys of C major and C minor. Note that all the chords are diatonic to the key. In the major version, the 6 is the relative minor of the 1 major and has the same identical notes. But in order to add some tension and more harmonic movement, it has become a trend among jazz musicians to play an altered dominant over the 6. While all the other chords, with the exception of the altered dominant, come from the modes of the Ionian or major scale, in the minor version below, they can be derived from the modes of the natural, harmonic, or melodic minor scales. As a result, many variations are possible. So now that we've established various scales to use over this progression, let me state that in both the major and minor 1-6-2-5s, when improvising over the diatonic 6 chord, you can keep thinking over the tonic. This is due to the fact that the 6 has the same function and again contains the same notes as the 1 chord. So when soloing, instead of thinking 1-6-2-5, you just need to think 1-2-5. Now, I know what many of you might be thinking at this point. All this theory is fine and dandy, but how am I going to come up with ideas to improvise over this progression? Not to mention some cool chord voicings to comp over it. For starters, let me say that if you know how to solo over a major 1-6-2-5 and you know your theory, you can easily convert your ideas and recycle them to work in a minor 1-6-2-5 context. And let me show you the process employing a Charlie Parker phrase. Here we have a phrase Charlie Parker played on Moose the Mooch, which is over rhythm changes. Below it, I have the same phrase converted from a major 1-6-2-5 in B flat to a minor 1-6-2-5 in A minor. And if you're wondering why I transposed it to A minor, it's simply because you'll rarely, if ever, find a standard in the key of B flat minor. Now, if you just quickly compare both phrases, you'll notice that rhythmically they are identical. However, while retaining most of the intervallic shapes, or what we call the contour, many of the notes have been altered in the converted version in order to fit the minor changes. But let me play both versions for you because I want you to hear how the minor version retains the Charlie Parker bebop feel. Here's the original phrase in major. And now listen to the converted version in minor. I think it definitely retains the feel of the original. But for those of you who aren't ready to go through this process, I have already done the work to get you started and converted 10 classic Charlie Parker phrases to minor, including the one I just played. And they are available in this lesson's special download, which I will tell you more about in brief. I know some of you are getting antsy, so next I want to play over the initial measures of 18 minor standards you can take advantage of to apply this progression. Number 1, alone together. Number 2, Black Orpheus. Number 3, Dear Old Stockholm. Number 4, Gentle Rain. Number 5, How Deep is the Ocean? Because comping is also something you want to get good at with this progression, I want to pause here to talk about the chord voicings that you hear me playing in the background. These are a combination of drop 2 voicings in different string groups where I employ some smooth voice leading from chord to chord. Here is an example from my soon-to-be released online course and set of books on chord melody titled Polyphonic Jazz Guitar. For this study, at the top we have the 4 scale fingerings and the chord voicings below that they generate on the first 4 strings. The first row displays the chords without any upper extensions, while any rows below it show the possible inclusion of upper extensions in these voicings. Furthermore, notice the 4 arrows at the top. These line up where the components of each chord is situated in the scale fingering they were derived from. And this is a very powerful study I like to call chord scale mapping. And it enables you to always see chords and scales as 2 sides of one coin. So just in this example, you have lots of information to get you started. But before I proceed with the remaining 13 minor standards that begin with this progression, I want to quickly tell you about the mega study package I've prepared for this lesson. In the download, I include PDFs with 10 original Charlie Parker 1625s converted to minor, featuring regular notation and tablature. Also, 4 sets of chord scale mapping studies for this progression, as well as the 18 minor standard examples in this lesson. Also included is an MP3 of me playing the Charlie Parker phrases, as well as a band in a box and MIDI file of them you can use to practice. And all of this is available for download for a nominal contribution from jazzguitar.richiezeland.com/premium. Number 6, From This Moment On. Number 7, If I Should Lose You. Number 8, Lullaby of Birdland. Number 9, Lullaby of the Leaves. Number 10, Minority. Number 11, Minor Mood. Number 12, Round Midnight. Number 13, Softly as in a Morning Sunrise. Number 14, Summertime. Number 15, Yesterdays. Number 16, You and the Night and the Music. Number 17, You'd Be So Nice to Come Home To. Number 18, You Don't Know What Love Is. I truly hope you enjoyed this lesson and learned something new. As usual, I appreciate your comments and likes, and if this is your first time on this channel and you enjoyed this lesson, please be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on my upcoming videos. Until we meet again, you know the drill. Practice, 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 then rinse and repeat. May peace be with you. Hasta la vista.